Hello, and welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Nick, and this is our review of the Kiprun KD900 from Decathlon. So the KD900 is a lightweight PEBA shoe from Decathlon that's built as a fast trainer. It's the training partner to Decathlon's carbon plate shoes, the KD900X and the forthcoming KD900X LD. It's a speed-focused shoe, but has the capability to be used as a bit of an all-rounder. It costs £99.99 in the UK, $120 in the EU. It weighs at 238 grams or 8.4 ounces in my UK size 9, and it's got an 8mm drop. Decathlon doesn't give the stack height of the shoe, but it's pretty high at the heel there, and there's a decent amount under the forefoot as well, so it's not a minimal shoe by any means. The key feature on the shoe is the V-foam PEBA-based midsole you've got here. The entire midsole is made from that material. You've got almost two layers of it, of one running the length of the shoe, and then at the back, this donut that sits under the heel that Decathlon says is designed to maximise energy return. Kiprun's version of PEBA foam is not the softest and springiest in the world. It's got a fairly firm feel, but it does return a lot of energy, and it's still pretty comfortable, and it's designed to be very durable as well. Decathlon says the shoe will last 1,000 kilometers of running. You've got really good outsole coverage on the bottom of the shoe there, so just a couple tiny little sections of exposed foam, and obviously there's a gap there in the donut as well. This rubber is inspired by a tire tread, and it's really gripped very well for me across a range of conditions. Then you've got a lightweight upper that's not the most flexible or soft in the world, but it's reasonably comfortable. A little bit of padding around the heel and some on the tongue as well to try and limit lace bite, but overall just quite a minimal upper to keep the shoe's weight down. So the fit of the Kiprun KD900 has been very good for me in my normal UK size. I'm a UK 9 with the Kiprun that equates to a US 10 or an EU 43.5. So it's a fairly roomy toe box. So I've got two different sized feet and maybe it's slightly too roomy on my left side, but it's not something that's been a problem at all throughout my running. It's a good amount of room up front and a good secure hold around the heel and midfoot. The heel's been designed pretty well. I've had no problem with any kind of heel rub or moving around back there without having to heel lock the shoe. And the hold of the midfoot's been good as well, even for fast running and going around tight corners. I've not had any slippage or anything like that. So yeah, very happy with the fit in my normal running shoe size. So I've done 66 kilometers of running in the Kiprun KD900, and I've used it for a good variety of training runs. So some very easy runs, some easy to steady, mild daily training runs, a long run, about 22k, one hard interval session running 1k and 200-meter reps, and then yesterday I finished off testing with a tempo 10k done in around like 36 minutes. And it's impressed me pretty much for every kind of run. Like, my concerns with the shoe there, that the foam's not going to be that impressive. It's going to be a little bit firm. Having used the KD900X carbon shoe, that was quite a firm shoe and didn't give you, that really explosive, springy feeling you get from some PEBA shoes, but it's a pretty good shoe. But actually, I think I prefer the ride feel of the KD900 because it is a fair bit softer without having the plate in there, and that really makes a big difference on long runs and long hard runs. So on both the 22k run I did in the shoe and also the 10k run I did yesterday, I would kind of expect it to have a little bit of forefoot fatigue by the end because it's not the highest midsole stack there and it's a fairly firm foam, but even snapping through off my heels like I do, I didn't have any discomfort there. So I do think it's a pretty comfortable shoe. The foam is quite well balanced. It is still quite a firm ride, but in a way that I quite enjoy. I think it gives you a good platform for running different types of runs, especially speed sessions, while still being quite comfortable for long and easy runs. Like, I really didn't mind cruising around in the shoe at easy paces. I do think it's a pretty comfortable shoe. It does have slightly different feeling at the heel and the forefoot though. Like, this, notably, it is softer and bouncier at the heel with the donut there. And as a heel striker, I really enjoyed the feeling of that donut on the run. Forefoot's a little bit more dull, a little bit flatter. Like, you don't get a big sink in and explosive bounce from there. Like, think about a shoe like the Adidas Boston 12, it's got that big chunk of Light Strike Pro, and it's got a very noticeable forefoot presence that really bounces you on your way. You don't get that so much from this shoe. Like, it's not exceptionally bouncy, but there is a decent amount of energy return there, and you can run fast. It tips you forward onto your forefoot pretty quickly with that donut design, and then it does, roll through pretty well, but it's not as impressive as some PEBA shoes. On the flip side of that, it might be more durable. Like, I've seen no signs of wear and tear after 66k with this shoe because of the slightly firmer feel in the midsole potentially, but also hasn't really softened that much either. So I think it's probably going to soften over the course of several hundred kilometers, obviously, but actually I think it's quite a well-judged level of firmness. I think you're going to have to like a slightly firmer ride. I do like the ride of this shoe, but it certainly isn't uncomfortable, I don't think. And it is quick. Like run yesterday was the kind of run I would normally do in a carbon shoe or a super trainer, just basically aiming for 10k in under 340 per k pace, around about 336 a k, and maintaining a pace in the shoe felt really good. Like, that's kind of run where you start to feel the benefits of a plate by the end, because it's just helping you tick over and stay efficient and keep rolling on. But actually in this shoe, it felt very comfortable to do that kind of run. And then I've also gone down to those faster reps. So the workout I was going to do it on the track, but I didn't have any time. So it was 8 times 1K at 320 and then 4 200s. And I did it on the treadmill, so increased the pace a little bit, but it was very comfortable in the shoe. I never really trust the treadmill, but on the long run, a couple of days later, as part of that, I did run a couple of 1K pickups in sub 320 pace. And it just feels good in this shoe. Like, it is very light. It doesn't feel like a very small or nimble shoe, and it is quite a big shoe, but it is really light, and you can turn over your feet nice and quickly, get a little bit of bounce, especially from the heel donut of the V-foam there. And yeah, it works well as a speed shoe, a very uncomplicated speed shoe. And I was really impressed with it yesterday for sure on that Tempo 10K, because it did feel just as good as using some of the super trainers I have used in over recent years. Also, you can get to feel a bit smugger because you've just gone out and done a hard run in a shoe that's 100 quid from Decathlon without a plate, rather than a souped up 200 pound super trainer. And then, like I say, when it comes to those easy and long runs, like, it's not as comfortable as some shoes, but it isn't uncomfortable at all. And obviously lots of people prefer to use just a big cushion shoe for that kind of thing. If you've got a running shoe rotation, there are certainly better, more comfortable shoes for easy and long runs, but I liked it. I think it's a really nice all-rounder. I liked it more than I expected on several different kinds of runs. I think that was the upshot of my running test. Like, I thought it'd be a pretty decent shoe for shortish runs and maybe a bit firm, but actually liked it for the long run, liked it for that Tempo 10K, was quick enough for short reps. All the kind of runs, I'd like to use a versatile shoe like the Endorphin Speed 3.4 or the Puma Deviate Nitro 2. It does all those runs really quite well, and the outsole is excellent. Like, it's really good. Like, yesterday the run was on kind of slick park paths. It was all tarmacked over, so it wasn't like I was on any kind of trail, but it's a little bit greasy the whole time. There's been lots of rain in the UK lately, and just no concerns with grip. You can really feel it bite. If you're just standing on a wet pavement and move your foot around, you just really feel the grip from that outsole, and it's excellent. It's something that brands do struggle with, of far bigger brands than Decathlon when it comes to shoemaking. That's just a great outsole, and it's not one that is necessarily built for the trails because it is that smooth, flat design, but it's really good on wet pavements and a really good option for the winter as a result. So my verdict on the KD900 is I really like the shoe. Like, a lot more. I thought it would be a pretty solid shoe. Decathlon stuff's always quite solid, but I did think it would be a mic firm. I didn't think it maybe would be as impressive for fast stuff or sustained fast runs in particular, but it really has ticked every box. I've used it for a variety of runs. I'll be happy to carry on using it for a variety of runs. Like, that's not to say it's my favourite all-rounder shoe. I still prefer the feel of things like the Endorphin Speed 3, the Puma Deviate Nitro 2, the Boston 12, Super Blast, even if you're looking at outrageous prices. Like, they all feel really good for all the same kind of runs, but the KD900 does them well, and it feels good. It's not like you're really making a sacrifice by using this shoe. I really like the feel of it. Love that donut at the back there as a heel striker. I think it does work quite well. And the forefoot's not the most exciting part of the shoe. It's not as cushioned as some. It's not as lively. There's not much of a rocker rolling you through, but the ride is good and it works well for lots of different kinds of runs. It's also, a good value shoe. Now, Decathlon, you expect really good value, and this is quite a tricky price, I'd say, because it's not outstanding value. Like, if the shoe was like 60 quid, you'd be like, go and buy the shoe, it's a great shoe. 100 quid, lots of good shoes around that price. If you're looking for just general daily trainers, there's the Puma Velocity Nitro 2, the Reebok Float Ride Energy 5 is even cheaper, and they're really good shoes. They're a bit more comfortable and cushioned. They're not as light as this shoe, and maybe not quite as aggressive for fast running, but they are really good shoes. The Velocity Nitro 2, everyone knows, I talk about it all the time. I think it's a really good all-round shoe, and it can do a nice range of runs as well. But actually, I think probably the bigger problem maybe this year would be more that some of those really excellent super trainers do dip towards this price quite a lot. And in my experience, when I've looked on the site, I don't tend to see massive sales on this shoe from Decathlon itself. So it's kind of that £100 price. Something like the Adidas Boston 12 is going to drop around that price. Adidas always reduces the Boston. Black Friday's coming up. You can probably get the Boston 12 around that price, and I think that's a better shoe. So that's kind of the problem this year. It's not cheap enough to be a really clear, easy one to recommend, and at that price people are going to tend to stick to more established brands probably, and there are some great shoes that will dip to around that price. However, it is definitely worth that money. Like, it is a £100 shoe, no doubt. It's got good performance, good materials, great outsole, comfortable fit. I can't really fault it. It's just, maybe there's some others out there that people are more likely to go for, but all in all, I really enjoyed it. Like, I do think some people will find it too firm. That's definitely something to look out for. If you don't like a firmer feel to a shoe, then this is a firmer feeling shoe than lots of the super trainers that use either softer PEBAs or other foams, that kind of thing. But I didn't find it an uncomfortable firmness. I did go in kind of expecting that, because I did get some forefoot discomfort when using the KD900X for fast runs, but a lot of that came from the plate. This is a softer feeling because of that, and there is enough under the forefoot there. Like, I do get forefoot discomfort quite a lot on hard runs, just because I do, like I say, snap through from my heels, and I just didn't get it with this shoe. So, I think that's a big tick. Like, over 22k, like maybe if I was looking at running a marathon in it, I'd start to feel it, but happy going up over half marathon distance, would be happy to go further than that. Think it's a really accomplished, well put together shoe, and yeah, really like it. So all big ticks on the Kiprun KD900. I still don't think it's quite as good as some of those shoes I listed there to do similar jobs, but at £100, I think it's a really good value. Okie dokie, that's our review of the Kiprun KD900. Let us know if you've been using any of the new Kiprun shoes and how you think they stack up against the market at large. Please do like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.